Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Rio Rizki Ramadhan from class 5H from English Education Study Program. Uh, so in this occasion, I'm gonna present about the study of need analysis for physical education students from an article or journal for my mid test in subject ESP course design and material design. So without further ado, let's start the presentation. So the first is the definitions of ESP or English for Special Purposes. So ESP is an approach to teaching English in which the creations of learning content and teaching methods is motivated by the goals of students. It's from Hutchinson and Water 1987. ESP itself has a very important role in facing global competition and improving students' competence in in the teaching programs and learning materials over are in accordance with the needs of the students themselves. So, therefore, it is important for special English teacher or instructors to always focus on meeting the English needs of their students. The programs and materials over in ESP learning must be oriented towards the student goals of learning English, where the material should be able to help students to communicate their thoughts and feelings when they are faced with the world of work. Because all contents and teaching methods in this ESP must be oriented to the goals of students, the teacher is required to design all learning materials in this ESP according to the students' goals to learn English. Uh, in ESP learning, teachers should provide teaching materials with substance that are designed and developed based on an analysis of the student's needs. Teaching ESP is then considered as teaching that is able to provide English learning materials needed by students, of course, to support their future. And also, in ESP learning, participants or students are always involved in determining learning materials and methods that suit their needs. Thus, in essence, there will be groups or of individuals who have similar goals in learning English. Because ESP closely related to determining things that are important in student learning, usually students who are involved in ESP learning are mature enough in deciding the goals and needs of learning English that they will go through. So Robinson, 1990, in D et al. 2019, suggests ESP as student goal-oriented learning. So the participants or students in ESP learning must have a goal of learning English either to support their academic interest or their dream profession. Because ESP is a special English language course, the needs of each group of students will have different goals. So there is a need for a special English material design carried out by the teacher or instructor. So with regard to the possibility of differences in the objectives of learning English for students, the teacher is advised to conduct a survey of the needs of students in learning English. Hutchinson and Water suggest the meaning of needs in relation to language teaching as the ability to be able to understand or produce linguistic characteristics of certain situations. This can be done by identifying the English skills that group of students want to achieve. They divide needs analysis into two categories. There are target needs and learning needs. So the first, target needs. Target needs is refers to what students need to know about English material they will study. So target needs try to convince students that later the teaching materials they will learn are relevant and useful for the future. Target needs also will be more effective and substantial when complemented by identifying needs or necessities, deficiency or lacks, and desire or wants the students. Uh, Needs or necessities refer to the function of language that students must know, so that students understand that this language is useful for them when used in certain situations. Deficiency or lacks is the range between the target level of students' English competence and the current level of English competence that students have. And meanwhile, desire or wants refers to the student's desire to learn English. And the second category, learning needs. Learning needs refers to the knowledge and abilities that students must have in order for them to be able to excel. This includes items in language, namely skills, strategies, knowledge of the material, and so on. Needs analysis like this can influence teachers in designing teaching material. So next, uh, the method. The research method is using descriptive qualitative. The participants involved in the research are students of the second semester of the third semester of physical education study program students who have taken courses general English as many as 34 people. And the research sample was taken using the course random sampling, and the instrument used is a special English needs analysis questionnaire or ESP for students with 28 questions distributed randomly online using Google Forms. And data analysis is using SPSS 20. So we move the so we move to the result and discussion. The result of the findings obtained from the study will be discussed as basic information in the development and design of teaching materials for students and developed in the course syllabus. ESP for physical education, which the physical education study program students will get in the semester 4, and learning can be more effective and doesn't overlap with the curriculum. The findings in the study will be explained separately based on the research problem as follows. The first is participant information data. So as you can see from the table 1, based on the results, it can be seen that participants in the study were dominated by male students. This is indicated by 85.29% of the study sample being male and only 14.70% of the study sample being female. The age range involved in the study was categorized as young adults. This is shown from the data collected where 100% of respondents are aged between 18 to 35 years. Thus, the need for the survey can then be used as consideration in making decisions about content or material in courses ESP for physical education, considering the age of the participants. And in addition, judging from the aspect of the level of student motivation to learn English is very high. This is indicated by 17.56% of the participants have a high enthusiasm for learning English. 23.53% have a moderate level of motivation, and only 5.88% of them are not motivated to learn English. And the results of distributed questionnaire, it was found that the most students of physical education study program considered that English is also important for students to learn. A total of 85.29% or 29 students stated that they had to learn ESP, and 8.82% or 3 students answered not sure, and 5.88 or two others thought that learning English is not necessary for a physical education study program students. So we move to the second table, profession desired by PGQR students. The findings from this primary data can be used as a reference as a material for consideration for course lectures in determining teaching materials and methods applied to courses. So in connection with the findings above, it is recommended for lecturers who teach courses ESP for physical education to offer and provide teaching materials which of course can cover the profession desired by students. In addition, lecturers are also required to design suitable and effective teaching and learning methods for students of the physical education study program. So, physical education study program students goals to learn English. The question in the next questionnaire asked about the objective of the physical education study program students to learn English in the course ESP for physical education. The results of the findings show that there are several goals of learning English that students expect, namely being able to understand various reference books or articles in English, being able to interact with foreigners, especially in sport events, able to understand various terms or instruction in English language sports, able to provide appropriate English language sports instructions, able to participate in international education and training programs and scholarship abroad, able to understand sports news presented in English, and able to report in English as well. So the following findings are illustrated in the table 3. So based on the results of the findings, more than 50% of physical education study program students stated that they needed English to be able to understand various sources or reference books or articles in English. It shows that the goal that student wants to achieve is English language skills that can help their academic affairs. In other cases, what students need is how they are able to maximize their English language skills to support their career or profession. So, based on survey results, it was found that there are possible topics of the teaching materials that can be offered to facilitate the achievement of students' expectations. From the results of this analysis data, the researchers found several learning topics that were tailored to the specific objectives of learning English for students. Topic preferences can be seen in the table 4, teaching materials in courses ESP for physical education. So there were seven designs of learning topics that would later assist lectures in direct lectures. So this topic later will be divided into 40 meetings that are tailored to the class situations. So based on the findings described above, it is proven that students of physical education study program need the ability to speak English to support their academic and professional careers in the future. This is evidenced by the positive response shown by the majority of students, specifically because the purpose of learning in it. They consider to have an important role in helping them when faced with the demands of work that they may face in the world of work in the future. This positive response appears when students think that English is worth learning, as stated by Karunaratne 2014, that English will be valuable and important for students when they when they view English as a tool for them to achieve success in their academic field to reach the profession they aspire to. And on the other hand, they will also consider English important because it allows them to communicate internationally and provides a broader perspective on global issues. So the conclusion from the study of need analysis for physical education. So from the findings and discussion of the study, it can be concluded that physical education study program students need to learn English because they need it only not to support their academic interests, but also to support their careers. The careers that the students that the students dream of include become a physical education teacher, professional sport coach, professional referee, professional athlete, and sports journalist. And in addition, they also want to be able to understand English sports terms, instructions, and implement them appropriately. In the end, students expect everything they learn in the course ESP for physical education is able to support them in the academic field as well as for things that are professional in their in nature. So that's all from me. I'm sorry if there are many mistakes. And once again, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.